Hi, and welcome back to Angels in the Library. So, you guys, the good news is I've been working on the backdrop. This is just the primer, you guys. So it's the updates to the channel. We're trying to clear it up, be in a heavenly space. Let me know if you guys like it white or if I should go black. I think I like the white right now.
Yeah, I like the white. I don't know. I feel like the black may be like YouTube certified.
You think we should do the all black?
I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of like, well, maybe because you're wearing white right now, so I feel like it looks good in the backdrop.
Yeah.
The only thing is your hair may blend in with the background then.
I think about that too. If it's black and then I'm wearing my hair curly, I feel like my curls aren't really going to pop on it. So I
Mm-hmm.
was thinking back and forth, but nevertheless, you guys, we're upgrading the the space. Um, Also special shout out to all our Patreons. You know, we have some serious people that really want to evolve on Earth right now. So shout out to y'all.
Yes.
And we're really grateful. And if you're new here, this is a great way to support the channel. We have a Patreon, and all episodes that we don't post, sometimes we film and it just might be a little too advanced for the day-to-day person, so we put it on Patreon so you can actually check those out. And yeah, so tonight's episode is going to be the dark side of angels. Is heaven the problem?
Dark sided.
Dark sided. So let's first start off with my family. Just to refresh so you know who we're talking about. We're talking about the Archangel Michael spirit family. You guys, before we get into this, I I feel like before we flame the angelic families, we will do a video on why angels aren't shit separately from this, because I'm trying to I'm trying to I'm trying to first just like, we gave demons their props in the last video. I want to just go into the negative that the angel families have, and then we'll go into why this exists, right? Because I'm not trying to be lighter with angels, but it is a totally different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nevertheless, I do gotta flame my family, y'all.
Just a little.
Just a little. So I got my list here. Should we start off with Dr. Umar? I'm joking. A thousand lashes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness! Right on the day we gotta flame the family. Dr. Umar is going viral for
Yeah.
apparently not taking care of his kids. So that could be number one. Archangel Michael men not taking care of their kids. um, God, I got so many here.
Took notes. That's
I
funny.
took notes, okay? So, the first thing I'm going to say about our family is that I'm start off nice, now we're going to get worse and worse. The first thing I'm going to say about our family is we are naive
Mm.
and we are extremely trusting. Like
Mm.
I see it at the job with all my Michael friends. We'll put our trust. What did Kia say? You put your trust in the nigga stupid hoe. How you think that you won't fuck your best friend and then your sister? I mean, well, and I'm starting with that because when we look at our actual family, you see how many people have gotten totally screwed over by trusting people.
Mm.
Like you can just see that. Like we just let people in with open arms. We really think that people have the best intentions for us. Like we literally are super, super naive to people's intentions and all that type of stuff. Like I remember somebody once told me somebody was jealous of me when I was a kid, and I just couldn't even believe that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
But then they try to do some crazy or start lying on you. And I'm prefacing this before we get into the other things, because when I get into the other dark sides, I don't want you guys thinking all the allegations of my family are true just because I'm flaming the family right now. I don't want you guys thinking that everything they said we did, we did. Some of it came from being naive, from being trusting, and getting caught up with the wrong demons at the wrong place at the wrong time. Okay. So after that being said, after that being said, what do you say?
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer. Let's talk about sex. The sex, the sex, the sex. Honestly, sex has been our biggest downfall, family. I
Mm.
would say one of the biggest downfalls. One of the biggest downfalls. And I'm not just talking about like sex, like having sex, right? Because nothing wrong with having sex, but we are notorious for having sex outside of marriage. We're notorious for we have family members that had sex with people that was a little too young.
Mm.
The problem with this sex is it creates all these broken homes, right?
Mhm.
And more so, it's like I have so many Michael people I know that have a kid, and they thought because they used the condom they wasn't going to get a kid. They thought because there's all these like we think that we can go out and have sex and not get any repercussions.
Mhm.
We have to start having divine sex only. we all like deal with sexual thoughts, more than other families. And the problem is when we get under that heat, we just, and I'm not trying to say, you guys, when I say like we struggle with not having sex, obviously we can go years without having sex. I'm saying when we like somebody, when we're attracted to somebody, we're willing to throw a lot of things under the table just to go have sex. I'm not speaking just for the women. I'm talking about the men. I'm talking about overall in the family. We clearly see that the sex can go from anything of being too sexual, right? Twerking at the wrong place, the wrong time, to like becoming a sex addict, right? We got,
Mhm.
or having sex with too many, or just having something getting too perverted, right? They can get into perversions.
Mhm.
Not everybody's dealing with that, okay? Because I don't want y'all thinking Michael Jackson did that because he didn't, but that's another video. No,
I'm like, wait.
I don't want them trying to add things up like I'm saying this and that. I'm saying that we see with a lot of Michael men, obviously Elvis, he dated Priscilla, she was 14, right?
Mhm.
We see that there is big age gaps in the dating. We see that we get on stage and we be, gyrating. Sometimes
Got
sometimes at the wrong place in the wrong time. And just more so I mean, the sex can get into cheating and adultery. It can get into so many things. And like I said, this takes, my dad used to always say it takes one false move.
Mm.
And playing around with sex is just so dangerous. How many family members have ruined their whole life behind having sex? Ruined their whole reputation behind having sex.
Too many.
Also, we say
Too many.
too many. Our whole family has lost so I mean, prime example, Bill Clinton gets in office day one, getting his dick sucked the first day in the Oval Office, getting head. The first day in the Oval Office, we getting head. If that's
Wait.
not Archangel Michael family, I don't know what it is. First term, first, the moment somebody was willing to give it up in the Oval Office, we didn't even think twice. We thought
What?
we thought we could get away with it too.
That was his first run.
Yeah, I'm
Oh
pretty sure. Let me double
wow.
check. Let me double check.
He's
We
bad.
need the fact checkers. But at the end of the day, that's how you know he's Michael.
He said I did not.
Have sexual relations with that woman. Knowing damn well, Michael man can't pass up some head. We can't pass up that head. That's terrible, but it's true. Everybody knew it too. And it was crazy because everybody knew Bill Clinton was like the first black president too. Everybody was like, yeah, we got a black man in office. Um, let's see. Well, we'll look that up later if that was his. But y'all let me know. I'm just using it as an
Yeah,
example.
comment below.
Like, obviously, I think because it's Michael, people kind of forgive us for doing stuff like that. But it's like our whole reputation. We throw our whole reputation on the line just for some head. It's like, come on, you guys.
Fun.
We say
Just a little bit of fun.
it is a little bit of fun just because a Gray wanted to give us some. Now we're just out here ruin our whole reputation.
She was a great. That's crazy.
Just because somebody's willing to give it up, and it could even deal with, I mean, it's just so it's so many varieties of how that can go down. I think because it's Michael and people know it's Michael, like subconsciously they know everybody covers it up like, oh, he was just I don't even know I don't even know how they covered up the Bill Clinton
He
situation.
was just you know,
Trying to guide her.
right, like I don't even know, like he was just yeah.
But it totally makes it so we can't, run for these serious roles and opportunities, or it's just like we ruin a good thing. I
Yeah.
think people kind of forgive. I think that was forgiven. Like, I just think people forgive Bill Clinton. It's kind of like, I think people see it as kind of funny because they know that we can't turn down a good time, or the men can't. I'm not saying I can't. Obviously, I'm not gonna go get head in the Oval Office, but I'm just speaking for the family in general. Being in heaven all this years, I've seen all the things y'all have done. I'm not talking about. I know what y'all do. I know y'all. I know y'all would get that head. Don't. So I just feel like we have to practice. More. Obviously, we're all supposed to be waiting for marriage, but I mean, the bare minimum is not getting head on the job. You know what I'm saying? Like, bare minimum, let's not get head on the job, you guys, please. Please, at the bare minimum, not at the Oval Office, not at the workplace.
Please.
Please. And if you are going to, at least don't be married, be single. Like, try to at least not be in situations, because we can't be married and doing all this.
Yeah.
It was too many things. He's married at the Oval Office. It's just too much.
You
It's so
married
many.
at work,
Yeah, yeah,
young girl.
right. It's every bad concept.
Together. He put
he,
it together. I'm
he
like,
did
oh.
he did the Michael Mann trifecta. Um, and it's like, yeah, we have to have all that happen. Okay, so I did a lot of stuff on sex. We talked about being naive. Okay, so when it comes to sex, it's really not sex that it's not the sex always. It's more of we have addictive personalities. This comes out of being the energy, like the energy of the creator. It's like one of my Michael friends, when I was going over this, was saying that like we move too fast. We have a problem with speeding. Like, he had his problem with getting a bunch of speeding tickets, like literally speeding. Even me, I move fast, I talk fast. So it could be that, and that leads to the drugs. Family. We got a El DeBarge movie coming out, and we know that the family has famously coped with drugs. James Brown, or drinking. Sammy Davis Jr. I don't even want to have to bring up Whitney, but Whitney Houston. Some of our best talent has been taken out by sex and drugs, y'all.
Yeah.
And if we don't beat the sex, then we can't beat the drugs.
Yeah.
It's like, and I'm not gonna go into all the, why we did it. I'm not gonna pull out the excuse bucket, even though I want to, family. I want to pull out that excuse bucket.
Blame somebody, please.
But we know as soon as something happens, I mean, how many people on the screen did drugs? MJ passed away from hydropropylonic, whatever he was taking. Marilyn was on barbiturates. I know Sammy was drinking alcohol. I know Whitney was doing the snowy puff. So, like she said, she ain't never did crack. That's for crackheads, honey.
Right.
Like I said, if it wasn't the sex scandal, it was the drug scandal. If it wasn't the drug scandal, it was the sex scandal. And then because we have this all going on, it just makes it easier for people to put more rumors and more lies on us, because they know we're weak for physical pleasures, because Michael rules over physical pleasures. So wanting to pleasure ourselves is wanting to stay in that high, right? Because sex and drugs keep you in a high space. Think about somebody like Robin Williams, who, like, we see was dealing with drug addiction too. So wanting to stay up here all the time and be in this really, really high place, sex and drugs is a easy way to do that. Stay in the high, always wanting to be up there, wanting to live life in the orgasm. Wanting everything to be this like, woo, this is super, super charged high. Drika. Let's see if Drika comes back. Why they throw Drika out? Yeah, what was that about? What were you thinking
You
about,
want
Drake?
sex talk?
The sex talk? Yeah, keep Drake out the sex talk. It's like Drake don't need to hear all this.
I don't know what were we talking about. I'm like, I don't even know what I was thinking really.
Yeah, I think just generally we want to feel good, like James Brown. I feel good, na 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 na, and when we want to feel good, we're willing to do whatever that means to us. Whether that's like I said, every family member is gonna have their thing that they've had to overcome in terms of an addiction. Like we even have family members that like gambling. Like I said, I have had friends that will like, like how they had Fast and Furious. That's real. Like, there are Michaels that literally street race in other countries or even in America. I had a Michael mechanic and he used to street race. I mean, people go to jail for that. You know what I'm saying? Because you're addicted to a high, wanting that adrenaline. Even Paul Walker, who was Michael, passed away. He didn't drive the car, but being in somebody's car that was speeding, not on the racetrack, just wherever they were at. I mean, I don't know where it was at, so I'm not saying that, but I'm just using this example. This high, the self pleasure, needing to like loving to feel. We love to feel good, and that goes into the whirlwind romance. Okay, Archangel Michael family, you guys, we have the worst dating history of all time. What Halle Berry say? She could go to any city and she's gonna pick the biggest bum they got. For being the family that can literally pull anybody we want. What is going on with the dating record?
Yeah.
I think some of the men are better than the women. The women, it gets worse. Okay. Once again, that could be an addiction to abuse. It's a lot of reasons why, but we have to stop picking the worst possible option. Like the dating, we have to just burn the past at this point because the dating, the dating is so bad. And obviously, our demons are jinns, so that just is an easy way to just date the worst possible option out on the streets. So, but at the same time, it's just when people talk about those girls that are pretty that everybody wanted, that's dating, but they want thugs. They're talking about us, family. Every Michael girl, not all, but if you're from certain lineages, you was the prized possession in high school and middle school. And what'd you do with it? You squandered your resources. You dated Nipsey Hussle. You dated 50 Cent. You dated somebody that turned you to a baby mom. At the high point. At the low point, you probably got beaten up, almost killed, possibly drugged, possibly had to do some jail time. Oh, I know you sent money to commissary. We all did it. This is a real family discussion. If you're not Michael, you're going to skip ahead to the next section where you're at. Okay? Because we all got that. This is a collect call from an inmate. And it was your baby dad. It was your boyfriend. It was your high school lover. And you sent the money in. Let's be for real. You felt bad. You felt bad. Let's be for real, y'all. Okay, so and the men, when it comes to their dating life, where it's messed up with the Michael men, is they'll go out and get a wife for like a trophy and then have a whole bunch of other things going on. They'll go get that nice trophy and do everything else on the side. What Elvis said, you were always on my mind. What R. Kelly said, when a woman's fed up, had something good, then lost it every day of the week. Michael family men had everything you wanted, threw it all out. Now you ain't got nothing. Now you a single man living in the mansion. Lucky if you can get something good. All because you wanted to get some head in the Oval Office and you wasn't married to Hillary, so she wasn't gonna stay.
Uh,
But yeah, just having sex before something's real leads to kids. There's that too. Some of the Michael men will try to stay to do the right thing. And you can't do the right thing with the wrong person. So now you're cheating every day. So
mm,
now you look like you're double the wrong man.
double the wrong man.
Double the wrong man. And also because you're not even into that person, y'all know y'all have the potential to be sex addicted. So if you're not into the person you're with, now the sex addiction is going to get worse. Now you're going to
Mm.
be looking at everything on Instagram. Let's put the Pornhub down, family. How much money does Pornhub make off the family?
Mm.
I'm being for real. Let's put the Pornhub down.
No more
Okay.
fun.
Next thing I have here is using charm to get what you want, or being charismatic in the public and then having an ugly personality behind closed doors. I've also heard a lot of like Michael, like sometimes like it could be in so many ways. Like, like people be shocked when they get to know us deeper that we have all these issues because we can be so charismatic, right?
Mm.
Like somebody like you meet uh like I'm just saying the charisma not matching the rest of the lifestyle. We can't be
Mm.
like Robin Williams, all happy go lucky, and then behind closed doors doing a pound of cocaine. A lot of family needs to put down the cocaine. If you're watching this, put down the cocaine. For real. I'm tired of being in heaven. An angel come back up. I'm trying to figure out how they got there. I look at the mirror, look at the script. They done overdose. Their whole friends are crying. They think it's funny because I'm their parent. We gonna joke. You got to sit down and look at your friends crying right now because you done overdosed. You done overdosed, and y'all got to go back to earth.
Why are they crying?
Right. So we got to quit that. But just when I talk about the charisma, it just sucks that we can't back the charisma all the time with stability. Like Marilyn Monroe, we have all this charisma, but it's like our actual life is in shatters.
Mm.
I just don't like that the charisma, and also we can use it to get what we want and be mischievous. I know that's for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like not being able to turn things down too, because we deal with a lot of temptation, y'all. The devil's always on our doorstep. Like we could use Bill Clinton in that situation. Like that might have been tempting. Somebody that's young, that's attracted to you. You know what I mean? Who knows what she said? That don't give it nobody. I'm not trying to put it on her. I'm just saying, no matter what happened, the energy is not an excuse. Like temptation's always lurking on us. Okay. Um. Yeah, I talked about cheating. Talk about the drugs. Worst dating history. Okay. No financial literacy. Terrible finances, spending the whole paycheck on an outfit for one event. Terrible credit, family. How much of the family got bad credit?
Mm-mm.
Going bankrupt.
Oh, I got that bad.
Shout out to Aaliyah for hitting up Tony Braxton when she went bankrupt.
Yeah.
Okay. Doing things last minute. Having a temper.
Mm.
Um, I was gonna say there's another one here. Like I said, the adrenaline, whirlwind romance. When we don't get our way, snapping.
Mm.
Not seeing the bigger picture, not planning for the future, everything in the here and now. Also, not thinking we look good or thinking we have some physical problem. I don't think most Michaels actually feel like we look good. So it's like awkward because you get all this praise for looking good, but you don't really feel like you look good. So, or you feel like something's off with you physically, but everybody's seeing you differently than you're seeing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, not fully applying yourself sometimes, being overly fixated on one person. romantically. I kind of cover those things. Anything you want to add to the cauldron of the roasting of the Michael family drink?
No, I think you kind of like pretty much said everything. Honestly, I probably would say maybe being too serious, because I don't really like the seriousness. And the Michael that I do know is kind of like, I mean, I don't know if I say it's serious, but like almost mean. Like, loosen up a bit, like relax, okay?
Okay, okay. Being
Chill.
being too serious.
Ew.
I can see that. I could see that with some of them, especially too. Like Michael Jordan, I know is very
He
uptight.
seems like not really nice to me,
Yeah,
and I'm
that,
kind of like, nah.
that's hard to depend on the lineage because I feel like that's definitely you got the part of the family that's too nice that lets everybody get over on them, and you got the part of the family that's more serious and strict. Kind of like I was talking about with like I hear stories about certain Michael. My dad was like that. He could be very serious, where he could like we have to do all these things all morning long, and nobody could talk back to him. I remember like
Mhm.
when he used to pick up a lot of kids from school, and one morning, somebody didn't say good morning to him, and he made him walk to school.
You all have that in common with the jizz. That's definitely something.
Yeah, my dad was like, "You're supposed to say good morning, Mr. Fambula," and he didn't say it. He got in the car and didn't say good morning. He was like, "You got to walk to school."
He definitely learned that day. Yeah, that's exactly what
Yeah,
like.
yeah. And if
Okay.
you knew my dad, you wouldn't think he would go there all the time. But when he came to his kids, he's very, very serious about these types of things.
Mhm.
Yeah, seriousness. Jumping into serious energies. Even Umar does that, where he gets so
Yeah,
serious. But
and
it's
everybody
also
be laughing, and it's
it's also because when it's unexpected, that's the thing too. I think with it, it's like people don't see it coming because you don't know what we're serious about, what we're not serious about.
Mm,
But every Michael got something that they take serious, and you didn't know that was the serious thing.
no idea.
You didn't know what was serious,
Like, okay.
right? Meant business. Okay, so let's go on to the Raphael family.
Hmm.
I took Elon Musk out of here. They're lucky because Elon Musk is enough roasting for the whole eternity.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
But
wait a
he's been
minute.
exiled from his family, so I don't even know if he's a good representation because they don't. He threw his own family under the bus.
Mm, yeah,
He's going through a midlife crisis.
serious one.
Okay, but nevertheless, I have some roasting for the Raphael family. Nobody's getting off easy today. Okay, like I said, this is all hard with angels because you can't really change um your disposition, like your natural energies. Okay, but the main problem that Raphael falls for is being too helpful,
Mm,
being way too giving without structure. Like when we talk about, like, let's say right now we have all this talk about the EBT in our country, right? I know Raphael is for assistance programs and things like that, but they have no idea the amount of fraud and scamming that people do with these programs.
mm,
Like people sell the EBT,
mm,
people try to stay on it for the rest of their life. People take these things that are meant to be helpful that like somebody could need, and like all the Raphael stuff where they're trying to help people ends up being getting taken advantage of
mm,
by different families. So the first thing is I don't think Raphael should stop being helpful because I don't think that's their nature, right? So I think you can stop. I think you guys got to have some structure with the help.
mm.
Like, okay, you can't only have EBT for this long, or and if you don't, you know what I mean, or you got to have this job, you know, um, you can't, we can't incentivize the help
Mm,
because people like with all these kids, they'll keep having kids to stay in the Section 8 housing.
yeah.
So sometimes Raphael helping people, it it makes certain groups like it doesn't help them, and this they take advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Like my mom's very helpful. I'm like is I like people really do that aren't good could take so much if that she doesn't know because she's not like that. So
Mhm.
that's a big one. You gotta okay. Now it goes to being too open minded. This is gonna get into like a lot of the problems we see in the world because Raphael got something called Doctors Without Borders, what everybody loves, where they go around the world and like people, when they get sick, they have this volunteer program, which is a really good thing. But then sometimes it goes into countries where they don't want countries with borders or they're too open. Once again, like they really are being open minded, so it gets too open minded. So it's too many people that get to come in,
Mm.
and we see in with Europe a lot of asylum seekers, and it's causing a lot of problems. We got to have restrictions on our open mindedness, if that makes sense. There has to be more. Raphael's lacking discernment.
Yeah.
That's the biggest roasting for Raphael. You guys have no discernment. So while helping people is good, without any discernment, it just ends up being getting used. So y'all's biggest roast is you guys get used like hell.
Mm.
And then this makes you guys look bad. It makes all your initiatives look bad. So I would say instead of trying to hand people things, refocus the energies back onto like what you guys have normally done, which is like trying to lift the minimum wage and trying to structurally help people. Because the anything that even though it's not a handout necessarily, and obviously a lot of the billionaires and people that are really rich do get handouts. So like I said, you can't take away all help because everybody who's going somewhere has some form of help. All my friends that are the most stable live with their parents, have help, right? Right. And there's a lot of people inside that don't have that do need help, but there has to be more discernment, more control, and more structure for these things, or else it's just lost and it's a
Mhm.
waste of money. Um. So yeah, the biggest thing I think is that you guys letting too many immigrants because you guys think everybody should come, or like being too, it is too open minded versus and it's messed up because I know Raphaels have tried to make laws to where it's easier for people like changing the structure of how it's done and nobody wants to overhaul the immigration structure. But in the meantime, we can't just let everybody in.
Mm.
And I don't think that you guys want to let everybody. I think you guys actually want to fix the structure of it all, but because we can't fix the structure, it just turns into let everybody in, which doesn't work because people respect things that they earn anyways. So we have to create um better structural changes versus like last minute helping people. You guys don't know how to help at this point.
Mm. Improper help.
We say,
Improper help.
yeah, improper help. Um, Also, not thinking that people are bad. This is a big one. Like, I don't think that Raphael literally thinks there are demons that literally have no good intentions.
Mm.
Like, they think that if people, this is where it gets too logical. They think if people just, you could just raise somebody, there's not going to be these people that have like really bad intentions.
Mhm.
I think that Raphael doesn't understand that like some people they're just nothing you can do. Like there are really, really bad people that will just totally take advantage of everything. Um, but that goes back to being too logical, like needing data for being too logical to the point of not understanding what's going on. And I guess that's a roast for the other families. So I was gonna say being secluded, but they didn't seclude themselves. We secluded them from the party.
Mm.
So they need our help for sure. Um, I would say the environmental stuff I think is fine. I don't think I have a problem with that as of now. I think the problem is um the only problem with the environmental stuff I think I have is moving too soon before we have the technology.
Mm.
But a lot of it, I don't think is necessarily bad. I think the environmental stuff is really important, and I think that the only thing, like I said, you guys aren't understanding is that demons is like coming for y'all, like real intensely. Like you guys are always under attack by demons because they want your land and they want to run Europe, which we see happening right now. So it's like while y'all was busy focused on the climate, demons was busy building that army to take your land. So like not you guys being focused on the mission without like once again like no discernment. You guys don't know what's really going on. You guys think, hey, let's focus on the climate. Meanwhile, demons is building up the army in Mordor. Now we got some
Rolling
great
out.
windmills, but we ain't got. But now they're about to take your land. They're coming for Greenland. They're coming for everything of Europe. So the problem is like you guys are doing the right stuff without the discernment, so it just all gets thrown out.
Mm.
It's just like you guys are getting played because you guys think that we're all like that movie.
Good
It
people.
was we say
Good people.
yeah, we're all good people, and like that movie was about like climate change, and like we all should just like why aren't people just all coming around just like to fix this problem? Like we all just recycled and did like
You know,
these right.
why can't everybody just recycle and use a disposable toe?
Yeah, like it should be
I
that
don't know
easy.
anybody that recycles or uses a disposable toe.
I
Aside of me, I
know.
just started using the disposable toes, like really
Yeah.
understanding the environment. So yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, just thinking that like people can like they're always like this is a problem that's greater than ourselves, but it's like demons got a problem greater than us too, and it's taking over Earth again. And they're always after that, and they got to push y'all out the way to do it because you guys or make them or how they got with Elon where they're actually going to use you guys to do it. So it's
Mm.
either two options you guys have. Either they're going to push you out the way and make up lies and scandals about you, like they do with Macron, who is Raphael. They say his wife is a man, and they say he can't run Europe. You know what I'm saying?
I remember you sent me that. I'm like, wait, what?
Every time the angel get married, they wife's a man, y'all. That's the first one they got, and they all say it too. Oh, another one. I don't know if it's just Raphael or Raphael and the reptilians combined because I saw reptilians being on that. You guys have been taking away too much free speech in Europe.
Mm.
Like I've seen this be a real thing in Europe where like if somebody says something bad about you, you could sue them. And I get where it's coming from because like these lies, like for example, how they're saying that how the tarot makes up really crazy lies,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Raphael thinks, okay, if it's not true, we should take you to jail, versus like you have to just let it go. You can't take somebody to jail for saying something that's false.
Mm-mm.
Like they want to just lock the tarot up for saying these things. In Europe, they're shortening free speech. What do you say?
You said it about me again?
I
Lock. Like, whoa,
think they
chill.
don't know what to do with this. Like, I honestly, I'm seeing it's like my mom when she reads like some of these things that like Trump says that are really ridiculous, that are like total lies. She doesn't know how to like to wrap her head around this. Like, it's too
Mm-hmm.
crazy for them. They're like, but they got to go to jail. What do you say?
Too deep.
Yeah, it's like I don't think Raphael understands like white people are like the lying aspect of the tarot. So they're just going, okay, well, let's just lock everybody up that's
Yeah.
lying on the internet. And then that gets into like
That's literally like everybody.
exactly. Because they're like the only ones
What
that
are
are
you
going.
in here for? Lying.
What do you mean?
Like, yeah, me too. Same.
That'd be a funny jail. Lock all the
Meanwhile, having access to internet.
what are you here for? Lying on the internet, telling
Like,
everybody
inmates
Raphael.
still be online.
Yeah, telling everybody Raphael's wife was a man. That's how I got in here without actual factual proof. Because Raphael loves the fact. So you know how they have all those like how like they're trying to get rid of like that like fact checkers and stuff?
Yeah.
And that's really offensive to the Raphael family because they're only going off of facts and data. They don't want anything else.
And I'm not a factual person. So, I mean, I am, but at the same time, no. So,
Yeah.
I can't get behind them doing that. I'm like, yeah, that is pretty.
It's too crazy.
Going to jail for like, Well, I mean, I guess that's like defamation. They call that where you can like it's
Right.
kind of like the same.
I was gonna say that's what I was gonna tell them is the better option, is just to make it a defamation case, but it has to be something that is like, I think you should be able to go to defamation, like how they're calling Michelle Obama a man. I think people should. That's a defamation case, like how
Mm-hmm.
Cardi B, they said she had an STI. You know what I'm saying? That's a defamation case. I think those are defamation cases. But if somebody just saying you're a fucking bum and you're not shit and you're the worst leader of all
It's
time
not.
and the environmental causes ain't shit and all this stuff, you can't take nobody. People should be free to say whatever the hell they want about you. I think unless it's actually bringing harm and causing like I said, like if somebody's calling your wife or husband a man and people actually are believing it and you have
Yeah.
the proof, you can get your we can get your chromosomes tested and shit and prove that it's not true. I feel like that's fair. Somebody like Candace Owens did a whole documentary saying she was a man. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can see that's a defamation case. That you're going too
Yeah.
far with it. Like you acting like you was there and you was the doctor that birthed her. And you know for a fact. So I think you're just taking it back to defamation if it's so severe. Because at that point it's too far. But just to have any type of that like freedom of speech thing, like but people gotta be able to say whatever they want because Jesus died for that reason because he was saying he was the son of God.
Mm-hmm.
So people have to be able to have and speaking your mind is the purest form of freedom. And obviously demons are going to do it, and of course they're going to lie, but it's never going to go. Even if it feels like it's going far, you just got in the long run it won't. So you just got to let the demons lie. I don't think they can handle that lying stuff. I think that's what it comes down to. They feel like if somebody's spreading a lie, they got to go to jail.
Meanwhile, they're online in jail, still writing and typing it up with a phone.
And also, it just gives people more ammo to think that you're crazy and like you're a leftist and you're a globalist. Like they're gonna think they can just use that to make it seem like you're totally wrong.
Yeah, taking away rights and all this stuff.
Yeah. So I would say just keep it like how I think the U.S. has a good job of that, where it's just defamation. If you really going far, especially with medical records, saying somebody's a man, somebody got an STI, saying things that are really like, can have your boyfriend break up with you or like something that's serious. People get killed for being trans. Like that's a serious allegation, so any type of going on your medical history, yeah, you should be able to sue. But if somebody just says you the worst governor ever, even if it, you know, feels like you're under attack, you got to take the attacks. Even if it's lies, it's not that big of a deal. So, you know, we got to bring back full freedom of speech because or else it's going to get used against you when you want to say what you want to say.
True.
I'm sorry we can't just lock tarot up. If we could, we would. If we could just lock them up every time they lied.
Lock them up.
Just lock. That's Raphael's solution to the tarot. Lock them up. They lied again. Yeah.
Also, probably them not not being into like I guess they don't. Yeah, they don't really be into a lot of spirituality or really have any sort of like
Thing
beliefs.
outside of facts. So for them, it's easy to go, well, somebody's saying something that's not factual. It's just, and I understand that it is like dangerous. Like there is a danger to like how the internet is where people are just like saying anything, but that's just how it's always been. People have always just said anything. That's how every religion exists. It's just people saying anything.
Yeah, literally.
All these religions exist because somebody just came and told people something and everybody got it, made the most sense to people at the time. So yeah, just get rid of that thought in Europe because it's not going to help. It's just giving you guys a bad name. Like I don't think I think they should be fact checking because it is really crazy. Like with Doge and Elon Musk, how they were like said these things and then it got corrected that wasn't going on. And it does create a lot of like, you quickly will hop on there and be like, man, yeah, fuck the Democratic Party. Or like, you'll just get into certain moods based around something and you find out, oh, that's not necessarily the case. And you keep, it is bad when people do that. And there should be some level of fact checking because like, even now how they're saying like, oh, Ukraine, like Russia didn't start the war. That is a lie. but it's like they're pushing it. So I get where it has to be some level of like, yeah, who can we trust for like what happened, what's the date? Because it's up to tarot. They'll rewrite the whole goddamn history book.
Yeah.
They'll rewrite the whole history, and that's why they don't want history taught in the schools. And it gets deeper than that. You know how they don't want certain things being taught
Mhm.
because they don't like any facts. So I understand that, but let's just keep it to people saying what they want to say. We're gonna say what we want to say, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
That's why I say you live by the sword, you die by the sword. And like right now, it's cool that people are just lying and saying anything. In the long run, it's not gonna look good. So you always gotta remember the truth lasts longer. So it's like,
Runs a marathon.
we say,
Truth runs a marathon. That's what Michael Jackson said.
yeah. Oh, the lies when the truth is like, what do you say about the lies though?
He said the
I thought you said the lies.
truth will. He said something like the lies will do something, but the truth.
Yeah,
I don't know what he said about the lies. I don't remember that part.
I think essentially is like right now this is just trending, like all this crazy lying stuff, like getting on the internet and just saying something. Um, and it's a part of the world. Like we've always had people create lies and hysteria, and it's so that truth, because like we're talking about Raphael, people like Drika don't care about any kind of facts. They don't live off of any factual things. We got
You
another
made me
family.
sound like so.
Yeah, I'm like, Drika don't live off of any facts, right? Like she's not picking up something and going, okay, what's the research on? She's going off of intuition. So it's like we talked about that in the Gabriel video when Portia made the car based off of not the science. So it's like we have other families that don't operate off of that. So then you're shutting them down from saying what they feel off of their spirit. And like I said, the tarot, they're just liars. Once you guys know they're just big demonic liars, it just is what it is. Like we have to deal with them. We can't deal with them by just locking them up. That's only gonna make them crazier. That's when they start shooting up the school and everything else. And they'll use that to turn everybody against you. Like the tarots know how to make you into the villain. If you do that to them, they're like, I got locked up for saying, you know, whoever wasn't shit.
Yeah.
And then it just makes you guys look crazy because it's like, okay, so you locked him up because they said he wasn't shit. That's their opinion. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Obviously, we do know that like the tarot did take over Germany, and that's where those laws are more strict because like obviously the history is like really crazy, and the tarot do get over there and start pushing crazy white propaganda. So I understand where some of it, I understand a little bit where it comes from because the white tarot have really done amok over there, like with the craziest stuff. So you guys at this point, it's just like we gotta lock them up. You guys don't understand. Last time we let them say whatever they wanted, the whole world almost burned. So I do kind of. I'm not trying to sympathize where we're fucked up at. I'm just saying that I kind of see like because Germany is one of those hot spots where it's like, what it is you guys haven't been able to control the tarot. And so you guys are looking to control them in other ways, and none of it's working actually. So that's not going to work either. So I'm here to tell you, let it go. Give back full freedom of speech. Let demons be demons. If they want to go out with their swastikas, whatever, who gives a damn? I know that's harsh, but they're going to do it anyways. They're just going to find new codes. They're going to make a new swastika.
Yeah.
The new swastika is their whatever, make MAGA hat or whatever they're going to do. They're going to make a new version of it. So it's not going to really matter. And then they're going to pretend that's not what it is. And then eventually they're going to show that that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't matter if you banned it. They're just going to redo it. It's better that they allowed to do it so we know who they are.
Yeah.
That's why people speaking their truth is important. It might not be the truth, but everybody should speak their truth so that we can see their truth.
Mm-hmm.
There's the truth and there's your truth. So yeah, no more banning any kind of freedom of speech. That's burnt out, y'all.
Ban it.
No be being open-minded. No more being too logical. No more being so open-minded. No more being so helpful. No more asylum seekers. We got to get rid of asylum seekers because it's no more help without control. We gotta figure out a better way to put some boundaries on helping people. because none of the ways you guys are doing it is working. That's the sad truth. All y'all guys is with everything you guys can do, none of it's working. What
I was gonna make a bad joke,
was
but yeah, that's why the queen left.
it? That's why the queen left. None of it's working, y'all.
Nah, this ain't working for me. I gotta get a whole thing going.
Oh, it's almost like going back to it, like the reptilians have a better job. Like it did it better. You know what I'm saying? Like Raphael doesn't. Raphael, y'all can't be in charge right now because you don't know how to do it. So essentially, all the help you guys are giving just getting wasted
Yeah, because people who be needing the help really don't even be getting it.
at all.
I know tons of people who can lose all of those sorts of programs, and they're the least to get picked.
Yeah, because people do all this scamming in the system to get the programs. That's a good example too. Like people could really use these programs, but they make too much money, so the gin with 7 kids gets chosen for it.
Hmm.
Because it's like these programs incentivize as a good thing. It's like, yeah, if you have more kids, you get more help, but then it incentivizes people to have more kids.
And then people really do it, which is
Yeah,
crazy.
people do. They actually start going to have 4 or 5 kids to get more EBT. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes.
Yeah,
So at
same.
a certain point, like if I believe that if you're already on EBT and you have another kid, you shouldn't get more. If you're already on it, that'd be a good way to stop that. If you're
Mm-hmm.
already in Section 8 and you have a kid while you're in Section 8, you can't get any more. You're stuck at where you're capped at, because that would stop people from going to have 5, 6 kids to get more and more money. Wouldn't that be a good way to change that?
I think that would be pretty strict too.
That's the Michael seriousness in me. Like, yeah,
Strict.
if you have 1 kid and you're on EBT in Section 8 and you have another one, you're not getting any more help
Yeah.
if you're already on it.
And then it's like,
Because that'd be better to me for the person that's divorced with 4 kids, then they can get the help because they wasn't already on it or something like that, where somebody actually
mhm,
jumps into a situation where they could use it. A lot of people I know could use it, but they're the people have been on for 15, 16, 18 years and they not able, because those people aren't off of it, they can't get new
yeah.
people in there that actually need it, that are struggling right now.
Hmm.
You shouldn't be able to keep getting more benefits while you're already on benefits and keep having a kid. I think that's the best way to cap it right there.
Yeah.
You have a
Maybe like a time period.
I think a time period too would be helpful as well. A time period, and as well as I think the capping it. Like if you already have 1 kid and you're on Section 8 or EBT, have another one's not going to give you any more because you should already learn from that.
Right. Yeah.
Because that would stop the incentivization. If you could only get more for having kids, like if you're in a situation where you've never been on EBT and all of a sudden you become a widow, or you
Hmm.
become a situation where you actually have 5 kids and now you're getting this lump sum because you've never, you know what I'm saying? You can't
Hmm.
start on the system and then keep racking it up. Nah. You
Right.
got 1 kid and you get on EBT, guess what? You get another one, you're not getting no more because you should have learned your lesson.
Hmm.
That way, if somebody else needs help, they get on it. So it has to be a time frame thing. I don't know how the time frame thing would work, or it should be a time frame. And I don't want to. We can mean Drake could throw ideas out, but definitely has to be a time frame. Um, and also you have to be working to even get it.
Hmm. Yeah. And yeah, like changing that, the structure at which you get it. Like I see people talking about those topics where they were like recently, like, if you make 50,000, then you don't qualify for like even like your taxes and everything is different. And everybody was like, I make around that, and that's supposed to be like that's not enough ideally. Like if you're a single person, or even like,
Mhm.
it's not actually good money as you would probably think, especially in today's economy. So it's like changing some of those ideas on like, people think like you have a lot of money because you make a certain type of money, so you don't qualify for anything. And it's like, it's really untrue. Like a lot of those people are actually some of the main people that are struggling because they are making more money, maybe, but they are also spending more money, and everything's really expensive, and you get less help. So everything is being,
Right.
covered by you. And That's a whole thing.
Right. And I will say that Raphael has tried to raise the minimum wage and things like that. And I think they have tried to do stuff like I don't know how much they try to fix these things. I can't say they haven't, but I know there has been attempts in certain things. But I do know in their defense that they have tried to raise the minimum wage a lot, and they do know that 50,000 isn't enough money anymore. Because I know Bernie Sanders talks about that too. So I do know that they're aware of that. But and I don't know who else is in charge of these aspects of the. That might be a Uriel thing actually, because I know Uriel kind of gets more extreme where like they don't do that either of like capping the things and stuff like that as well.
Mm.
Like when we talk about like the money, because I know a lot of people get EBT by saying they're homeless, even when they're not homeless, just because that's how you get it immediately. So people know what to say to get these things, you know,
Yeah.
and that's not really how it's supposed to be. But I think like where Raphael is right is like changing the structure and trying to get everybody to have a better living wage. But because of all your guys' shenanigans, we can't focus on that. That makes sense. Like because of all these other things you guys are doing that aren't helping, um, it's not focused on that. And that's because the people that you guys are helping aren't your family and aren't in your communities. So you guys don't know how to help the other families because you guys don't know them like that. But I do think that for sure, I know Raphael knows that 50,000 isn't enough, and I don't know. It's like a lot of those things when they try to change them structurally, it doesn't seem like I don't know who's I need to go look into that too, like who's actually in charge of that right now because I feel like there has been people that have tried to change these things, and it's like even how they try to raise the minimum wage.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Republicans don't like certain things either. I think the Republicans sometimes I think the tarot likes that it's fucked up so it can more drive their point home. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like they know if they don't change the immigration system, more people are going to come here illegally, making it look like everybody's like wanting all these illegal people here. But they don't want to pay people on their farms a livable wage, and they don't want to do the paperwork. So it's like it's a multiple, it's a variable. But Drika is right. We got to figure out how these programs that you guys do want to do. I know you guys do a good job with like the Doctors Without Borders and things like that. Some of that stuff does help, especially when it's crisis stuff. I think you guys' best stuff. What do you say?
FEMA.
FEMA, yeah, because they said that those apartments that those people got from Trump, like during the Trump thing, was actually from FEMA.
Mm-hmm.
They were actually FEMA housing. So I think it is like the crisis stuff is really good because in crisis somebody can't take advantage of you. So maybe that's what you guys are doing. You guys are treating people like crisis where they get tons of stuff versus like structurally trying to help people. Like the structure of like doing that on a regular day is kind of not working.
Mm.
If that makes sense. Because yeah, they don't know that somebody would totally have 8 kids just to take EBT. That's like they have no idea. They have no idea that we can go buy some EBT right now.
That is so funny, and it's so true because even I become like flabbergasted. Like, yeah, people do that.
And in this economy, people are for sure buying up that EBT and people are selling it too.
Mm-hmm.
Food's
The
expensive.
kids, really.
What do you say?
The kids part.
Oh yeah, I know people that have done that. And they
Yeah.
had a nice Section 8 house and
Mm-hmm.
they was living like they barely paid the bills and they barely had any bills.
Thanks,
Yeah, thanks, Raphael.
Raphael.
You've helped out the Gens far too long. That's been their biggest person they've helped. The Gens need to go thank Raphael. They need to do Gens need to do a thank you video to Raphael. Without Raphael, y'all wouldn't have shit. My friend was telling me how her cousins lived like in a Section 8 house and they was asking for help on the rent because they were 3 months behind and it was only like 148. And they're Gens. I'm like, Gens don't go to hell.
Oh, really?
Yes, because like they don't have to even pay that much rent. It's like the gens better be voting for y'all for fucking in office. Shit, they owe everything to y'all.
Owe it to you.
Raphael didn't help the gens. It's true because remember like the baby said that thing about like HIV and then Dave Chappelle brought him on stage and was like He's a part of the community. Like they don't understand all the stuff. They don't understand the interest. They don't understand. Thank y'all for trying to help, but do better. Y'all ain't help. Y'all ain't helping no real angels out. Y'all help demons.
Yeah.
Y'all help demons. Yeah, y'all like have been the biggest help to demons, for real. And or it could do like where it's not being meant to, like how this is happening, where you guys are actually trying to help people with these programs, and it ends up being nothing but demons that do it. Or it's like where Elon, where he's literally trying to go help demons.
Yeah, he's like a good example because he's completely being utilized by them.
Yeah, he's like their money maker. He's their piece. And to be fair, he did it because of y'all. He's tired of y'all. He feels like y'all are. He's. We say.
He wants to go be something different with
He's
more
tired
structure.
because he was saying that empathy is the biggest problem, which we know is a Raphael virtue, being empathetic. Like Raphael can't help but be empathetic. But once again, he's trying to say that you guys are getting used, and he doesn't want to be a part of it.
So he went somewhere else to get you.
Yeah, now exactly. That prime example. Man, Dreek, you hit to say that again for the audience, Dreek.
So he went somewhere else to get used even more.
Exactly. He's tired of y'all getting used with y'all, so he's gonna get used by himself.
He's like, I like it this way.
I'm in charge of getting used. And he thinks he's not getting used. He thinks he's the showrunner. It's like you getting used up. That's the worst. And that's kind of like I did a video once where it's like kind of like about how essentially you're gonna be known for, like, you can't run from certain things, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like if you're like here, he's still getting used, so nothing changed. He just thinks he's not getting used. The same way regular Raphael thinks they're not getting used. So you guys both in the same position. Now he just started a fight with his own family on top of it.
Getting used. Getting used.
Yes. Getting used even more for more money.
That's a good one, actually.
So sad. One second. I'm just cracking up because I didn't realize Raphael was getting used up the most. Man, they getting used up. Everybody love a Raphael for that, just to use it up. Like, like, yeah, Elon, come right over here. Put that dark MAGA hat on. Let them know. Don't get used by. Don't get used by them immigrants. Get used by a real white man. Yeah, so I guess Raphael has been like, that's so crazy. Like they're the most useful family and they're getting used up the most. Like none of their efforts are being reached. So you guys are actually helping demons get stable instead of helping like people that need it get stable or people with good intent, angels get stable. You're helping demons get stable. Helping you guys have given like demons. Need it. We say, yeah, like giving demons good stability on earth. Like I said, all demons can thank Raphael. They gave the Greys a platform, help, like the Greys use them to get into that political party, the Democratic Party. They let the Jinns give them EBT and Section 8, let the immigrants come straight over, get a little stipend. They let Archons take up their land. They let Uriel fuck up the whole Democratic Party. To let everybody get their bid in. Everybody got whatever.
Everybody got a chance.
Everybody got a chance to use Raphael for the evil in the world. So they've been stabilized in hell when they're supposed to be stabilized in heaven. And now Elon doesn't want to be part of the family. So now he's becoming the most used one.
Because he didn't want to get used, so he went to go get the maximum amount of usage
out of hell. Who can use me the most? Yeah! Woo!
That is crazy. And he thinks it's different. That is pretty insane. Because I was thinking, like, yo, they definitely, when stuff really does hit the fan, they're going to use him more. Like, he's going to be the example.
Yeah, and they're going to blame him. Like, right now, nobody's like, okay, with the EBT stuff, nobody's like super mad about that. Like, people are mad about certain things that Raphael is doing, but like, it's going to be way worse because it's like one family is only using this. Like, there's a lot of people that aren't just Jinns that have used EBT. So they're not, nobody wants EBT to go away. That's the thing. Everybody's like, we just got to do it better.
Mm-hmm.
So versus this situation with Elon, where he's literally throwing his family down the bus and saying all you guys are wankers and y'all not shit and y'all got to go to jail. He keeps saying they got to go to jail.
Wait, Elon keeps saying
He keeps getting arguments with his own family and telling people that they need to go to jail.
that? Wankers.
Yeah, he's calling them all types of names, tell people that they got to go to jail for whatever reason. But he's helping one specific family take over the world. And they're about to use you up. Like they're about to use up your land, your natural resources. They're using your face. They're using the face of being white when they're not white people. They're Native American demons. Like they're using every aspect of you. Like, first of all, they're using your look. So every horror they do, they're doing it in your image. So you guys will forever be tied to the shit that they're doing. Then they want your land. They're trying to take over Europe. Then they want your money. So, like Rika said, he's trying not to be used, but he's getting more used because the only way you don't get used is with spiritual discernment. So you should be looking into, when you're getting used, look into spirituality. This is where you have to get spiritually evolved. Because you can't change your nature. Your guys' nature is to help people, to be useful. But you have to do it in the right way. Michael family, our nature is to be sexual. We don't need to get head in the Oval Office. We can take some time off. We don't need to twerk before the inauguration. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, would y'all be mad if Selma Hayek didn't have that tight dress on? Y'all be mad if Jail didn't come. Y'all be mad if Halle Berry didn't have that tight dress on. Y'all be mad if we said, oh, you know what? Let's cover up the Archangel Michael family. No, we still have sex. You guys are still going to be useful. But we're going to do things the right way to where it's tasteful and makes sense and it helps the world become a better place. Now, this is the easy family to roast that we're on to now. Guess what family that is, Drake?
Too easy. I'm like, Uriel.
Yeah, like I feel bad when I got to roast Gabriel, when I got to roast Raphael, because they're actually trying to do something in the world. You know, I felt bad after that Raphael because they're actually trying. You know what I mean? The first roast of Uriel is what good have they even tried to do in the fucking world?
Yeah, I'm
like, where was the effort to be good in the world? Let's start there. What was their action?
Matter?
I got so much on Uriel. Uriel. Let's start here. First one that I can't stand, think pieces. Let's put all think pieces in hell. Anything happens, here's a think piece. Black men, black women are the bottom of the barrel. Let me tell you why, as a black woman, you're always going to be at the bottom of the barrel. That is the white woman's way of the ploy. I can't even think of the shit they come up with. The think pieces that lead you nowhere, that just put you at the bottom of the list. The think pieces that make it so that you can't ever overcome society. You're dark skinned, Drake. You'll never know. You'll never know the glory of the world. At the end of these think pieces, it leaves you immobile. Like their think pieces make it go, yeah, life sucks. And now I have to deal with life sucking because a white person 500 years ago fucked it up for me. And now I have to hate them. So that goes to the next thing, making everybody hate white people. And it's even more fucked up because white people are your guys' best friend. So y'all, and this is what goes even worse about the Uriel family. Y'all will make us hate white people, and then y'all be the first one to go marry some of them. Y'all will make us go hate Trump, and then be the first one that voted for him. What do you say?
Hypocrites.
The most hypocritical. Y'all, I seen all these Uriels. Oh, I was on the far left. Bitch, you created the far left. And now you're riding with Trump. That's why I hate about the Uriel family the most. They'll get us all caught up in their mental state. They'll create all types of propaganda for us to believe. And then when it hits the fan, we're left with it, and they go ride with Trump.
With their flag out the window.
Yeah, with the whole MAGA hat on after ruining the Democratic Party, which is the next thing. Y'all have ruined the Democratic Party, like single-handedly. Y'all's family, and it's not that like it's about being associated with the Republican or Democratic Party. But the reason why I'm going to say the Democratic Party in this is because every angel, for the most part, in the last 50 years that has been a candidate has come to the Democratic Party. And just like y'all did, just like your forefather created hell, anytime we get together and do something good, we had Bill Clinton, we had Obama, we had all these angelic presidents coming forward, doing something good, built something up. You guys completely destroy it. And that's fucked up. Like, it's fucked up that just like when we were kids, the Democratic Party looked like a normal political party. Now it looks like something with that's totally a lost cause, something you don't want to be a part of because it's so fucking crazy based around all the thoughts you guys give everybody, which would be transgenderism, wanting trans people to be in women's sports, Black Lives Matter, defund the police, all these ideas that literally have done nothing positive. And then when they don't work, you guys leave everybody else in the dust. You guys don't even stand and try to help and say you were wrong. You guys just go, oh, I'm a Republican now. after you ruined all the hard work Obama did, all the hard work. What you say?
Unapologetic.
Yeah, like, don't you feel bad that like people like John F. Kennedy from the Raphael family did all this work in that party? Like, angels really built that up, and you guys just literally destroyed the same way you guys destroyed heaven. And that's, like Jika said, unapologetic. Okay, so if you're not familiar, the Uriel family is the left family of the party, of heaven. So go back to watch. But Uriel, they rule over the mind, so they always come up with thought constructs for how we're supposed to see things. And the biggest problem with that is when you place them in the Black community, where like things are really tougher, they make all these terrible thoughts. They have gotten, like, I have Black Uriel friends that try to make me turn on Martin Luther King. Like my friend Randy, always talking shit about Obama and them, like talking so much bad shit about the Gabriel family. And it's dangerous because you have other people that will start catching on to these thoughts and be like, yeah, like we had at my job for MLK Day a board, and we had papers that you could like write what do you think about MLK. I told people, I'm like, you gotta lock this up. I'm like, if Randy gets that, he's gonna say MLK souls out to the Rothschilds. Like, you can't put that in here. I'm like, Uriel's gonna put a crazy idea. Essentially, the Uriel family is guilty of destroying every positive movement heaven has done. Like, literally, when we talk about MLK, they'll be like, oh, that was the wrong route. We should have went like Malcolm X. So we should have just killed people. What are y'all even talking about? And then what ends up happening is we all get lumped in with them. Like, when people talk about Democrats now, they're just talking about Uriel. They're not talking about anybody. They're not talking about anything Obama did. Obama deported a lot of people. Obama didn't defund the police. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're just like Uriel becomes our face when they're not supposed to even be the face of anything. But like, once we build something good up in heaven, Uriel comes and destroys it. And that's sad. Like, it's sad because it's like so much work and so many different families will contribute to a movement like the civil rights movement. And here Uriel comes. It's like, we should just physically fight people and physically kill people. And MLK was stupid for being nonviolent. But he got the job done. What have y'all accomplished positively for anybody but your guys' self on earth? I'll wait. What is one thing the Uriel family has accomplished for other people positively on earth? By themselves, not with the help of Raphael. That's where it gets hard. Oh yeah, not with Raphael's help, not with Gabriel's help. Because the problem is, y'all take a good movement like feminism. Now y'all are naked with your titties out outside protesting. Y'all take a good movement like gay rights. Now you guys want transgenders in women's spaces. Y'all don't know where too far is. It's been billions of years and you still can't figure out where the wall is. And like I said, what makes me even more upset about it is when it hits the fan, you guys are going to blame Raphael. Doctors were telling me it was okay. No, you guys came in and told us if we didn't agree with you, you was going to cancel us. And now that you want to be a girl again, or you want to be a man again, you blaming Raphael and the reptiles? This was y'all's fucking idea. Raphael don't got no, they ain't got no transgenders. Your whole fucking family is damn near transgender. You know what I'm talking about? Like, as soon as it goes wrong, they blame us. Obama did this to MLK did this to black people. Raphael was the reason why I became transgender. They gave me the medicine. No, you guys all sat down and convinced us y'all needed to become transgender and we needed to accept it, or else we were evil. We weren't good people. We had no morals.
They've been tainting the community.
What do you say?
They've been tainting the community with bad thoughts. Because they've got so many people underneath all of that. I mean,
yeah, they do. They have also, that's the thing too, is they get people under it because they're our original mind. So we want to believe like even Black Lives Matter. They take things that are real and then totally destroy them. Like I said, that could have been just a moment about George Floyd. I think we all just posted BLM because we're just like, okay, well, we didn't know what to post to signify this time. And then this ended up being a situation where they're making the narrative about what they think it is. So where now they're trying to release Derek Chauvin out of the prison and stuff. And then people will say, oh, everybody on the left loves a race war. How do people in that party want a race war when y'all the one who killed the people and y'all want to release them? You know what I'm trying to say? But because we have these Uriels, we're going to stop inviting y'all to the party soon. Like, Uriel has to stop. We have, and that's a big thing. We should have put that on Raphael's bad list. Getting under Uriel. That's what's fucked over the Raphael. Y'all should not. I get that's your best friend, but the track record, they have y'all looking crazy out here. Mm-hmm. Because y'all we all listen to Uriel. But y'all in cahoots, y'all in group text with him. So I don't know what Uriel's thinking all day long. Y'all in a group text. My mom texts her Uriel best friend every day. And of course, he got the green hair to prove it.
Oh my gosh.
She's texting. She knows exactly what he's thinking. Mm-hmm. And that's the whole thing is Uriel is willing to destroy something. They think if they just destroy it, they win sometimes. It's just been a lot. And like I said, it's not even about becoming a Democrat, being a Republican, but I'm just saying the positive things that people liked about the Democratic Party that was created by angels, they took that away.
Yeah.
Like the good aspect. Obviously, there's demons in the Democratic Party too. We know the grays are there. But I'm saying the actual good things that was done by angels has all just been thrown under the bus because Uriel wanted to be the face of the community. They made the whole, like, that's what I'm saying. The only time Uriel even gets involved in social issues is if it's about them. If Uriel is not a dark-skinned black woman, they don't give a fuck. If they're not trans, they don't give a fuck. They're not a woman, they don't care. It's all about me, me, me. They're the most self-centered people of all time. Mm-hmm. Like I said, they literally are only even involved in this because of this, because it affects them. And then what's worse about it is that if you don't agree with them, they like cancel you. They drag you. They come up with theories about you. They have a negative theory about every category of person. Unless they're a part of that category. White women, black men, biracials. Unless you're the bottom victim, that's something they create too, the victim mentality. Unless you are a black trans woman, then they have bad stuff to say about you. Let's not speak bad about black women. The biggest thing that Uriel is wrong at, and I wrote it here, is calling themselves woke when they are the most under the spells.
Yeah.
You guys call yourself woke. You guys are the most sleeping group in the universe. You guys are arguing with everybody under magic spells, and you think you're woke. Every race is fake. So how could that be woke if you're talking about race? Mm-hmm. You guys are the most asleep. Raphael and Gabriel both don't get into things like that about like cisgender, this and that. All these, you guys use every category demons create to make a worldview. So you're using their stuff to talk. The most asleep thing, and that's why wokeism, people want to call it, is the most sleepy mental state because it's using demon stuff to it's using demon stuff backwards. Like you guys are trying to use their stuff to make points and make arguments when you don't know how to use their stuff. It's like you guys aren't even you guys are talking about something that's made up like it's real. Everything demons made about race and all these things is all made up. And then you guys talk about it like it's real. Every day you get on the app. That's the thing about white women. It promotes hate. You guys promote a lot of fucking hate.
That's true for sure.
Oh, I seen a post today. She was like, biracial women all got witchcraft in their bloodline. She was like,
What?
you know it's Uriel. You already know. She was like, all biracial women can do witchcraft. Don't feel bad for them because they all got witchcraft in them. That was like some crazy thought.
I'm like, where did she get that one from?
But of course, somebody in the comments gonna believe. People always believe Uriel's stuff. Like, yeah, because their essentially whole thing is people that have more of the desired things in society should be treated badly. Like, if you are benefiting off of any isms, then and like all these things, it's all hoopla. And we're gonna break down why that all is going on, but it's they're number 3 is they're exhausting. Like listening to them talk is actually exhausting. Okay, more things. Obviously, dragging people, cancel culture, being a hater, being hard to work with, being stubborn. Like I said, making everybody follow your ideas, argumentative, attention seeking, shock value, Kanye and the swastika, wanting to overthrow the government, extremes, lying, all of the crazy ideas in the black community, wanting to play sports as a transgender.
Oh my gosh, that was really niche.
Ruining all the hard work the angelic families have put in. And I'm just using the Democratic Party because we're seeing it play out where it's like awkward now because it's an awkward thing. Like only angels that since we've been kids that have been in a political party is Democratic Party. So I voted for Obama. But now it's awkward because like I can't even back this party because y'all got involved. And I can't back your guys' bullshit. Being crazy destructive.
Yeah.
Just attention seeking. Not making any sense, but wanting everybody to get behind it. Creating more spells out of bad spells. Like black and white is a spell, but then you guys go on and say you should listen to black women.
No structure.
No, don't listen to this podcast because we're black women. Listen to this because it makes sense. Our physical forms do not matter. I'm teaching y'all about the spirituality behind things, and I don't want anybody listening to me because I look a certain way because I don't want that. I want people to listen to this because it makes sense in your heart and your soul, and you're getting some clarity, and it's helping you make better decisions in life and helping you evolve. Don't listen to us because we're black. Because not even a real thing. Black don't even exist in heaven. Don't exist anywhere outside of hell. And because hell's on earth, it exists here. Ain't nobody black. I'm Archangel Michael III. That's the seriousness which Rika was talking about earlier.
Yeah, don't watch this because we're black.
Right. If this was a Uriel podcast, it'd be, and you have to listen to me because I'm a black woman. Well, actually, I'm biracial. And the thing about it is they put people into these, man, it's hoopla. And you're in the black community, you got to deal with it more because any community that like needs more thoughts, they come in more. They start trying to
Thoughts. Jesus, please don't supply any more thoughts. Let's just stop the thoughts.
But yeah, I think the biggest thing too is like making enemies out of people that should be your friends.
Mm-hmm.
We see this in the war in heaven. Uriel literally crossed us for no reason. But like even little things, I saw an image of like I don't know. We talk about like LeBron and Kyrie, and like Kyrie just left. I don't. There's so many situations where it's like they just kind of like burn like Azalea Banks. They just burn all these bridges,
Yeah.
and it's like you're burning bridges with people that actually. Even me and Drake have reached out to Uriel himself to help, and now, and that's why we're able to do this because like we tried to help. Like everybody's trying to help y'all, and y'all keep going and picking the demons to work with because you guys are sick. That's why they say people that are left, like the left or like the liberals, have mental issues. They're not talking about people that like are Raphael. They're talking about Uriel
Mm-hmm.
because Uriel has a mental sickness and he's giving it to his kids because he hasn't treated himself. But meanwhile, he's on the internet smoking 10 blunts, drinking Dunkin' Donuts, trying to tell everybody about hell without putting himself under the fire first.
Doing it backwards.
To be fair, I feel bad for the Uriel children because they don't even know why they're thinking all this crazy shit. So I do want to say that, even though I'm not trying to do a be fair and excuse video. But no, it's not an excuse video. You guys are grown. You guys promote this. You guys get on TikTok and YouTube every day with think pieces, telling people how they should wear their hair, telling people how they should dress, telling people every time they want to put an outfit on, they're trying to please the white fucking man. Like, bitch, come on. Let people be free. Stop policing people. You guys are the biggest police of everybody. People want to, everybody on earth wants to go as far as away from you guys as possible. And heaven has been stupid enough to let you guys in time and time again, just so you guys can ruin everything. So moving forward, we will not be doing that. When we build up good things, you guys are not invited unless you guys are going with our program. You guys are not in charge anymore of anything mental. Nobody will ever listen to any think piece again because they're all BS garbage junk.
Think pieces are so last year.
It's like, and I'm telling you, these think pieces will do nothing but make you frustrated, confused, and feel like you can't have any movement.
Yeah.
And make you feel confined by a group physically versus through your spirit and your inner sense and your inner knowing.
Mm-hmm.
They just promote so much lostness, and I feel bad because we've all fallen for it. Oh yeah, for making us all become vegans. Forget about that. How can we forget about the veganism? We say?
Vegan, yeah.
Yeah, veganism.
Mm-mm. Not doing it, but nice try. Nice try.
Y'all let me know which BS Uriel BS you fell for.
Yeah, let us know in the comments. I already know what it's gonna be.
Crystals, magic spells, defund the police, transgenders. The list goes on. Every thought form that has gotten us nowhere from heaven is from you guys. So nobody wants to, and that's going to be the future. Nobody's going to want to hear what you guys have to say because we heard what you guys had to say for eons now, and it's never been
Any sense?
It just gets people depressed. You guys create people's depression. It makes people that are already depressed, like if you're already in a situation where you don't have the look that society says you should have, and all you're hearing is, yeah, and it's because of these people over here, and you're never gonna know, and like all these things, that's not really helping anybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually making somebody more depressed. Why would I want to hear that it's actually only going to get worse from here? And now you're going to get old because of ageism. You're going to have less time, less opportunities. Yeah, they're going to throw that on you. Not only are you a black woman, you're dark skinned, you're going to suffer from ageism. You have so many struggles. They want to put everybody on the struggle bus and they want to drive us right to hell. Uriel will literally pick you up on the struggle bus and be like, yep, this is the stop for the biracials. Oh, this is the stop. We say?
this got me like thinking about like TikTok right now, and I'm like, are they behind this pretty privilege stuff that's going on?
Oh yeah, they're
It's
big
on
behind it.
TikTok
Yeah,
all over.
they're always talking about pretty privilege and what is their thing with pretty privilege? Like, do you have it and how much you have it, and always trying to like get to some mental conclusion about something that I don't know what the point of it is. Just
To
because they
believe that
don't have it. We say?
to believe that you have it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Trying to, yeah, yeah. That's what it is. They're trying to depress people. So essentially, you guys are like, what is that? Like, this is a tarot
Because
card.
I
It's like a
see people
burden.
online like, I have pretty privilege and this, that, and the third, or like, and then it's the opposing side of, oh well, I wish I had, like, it's just discourse on each side of that. It's like, yeah, that made me think of that. I guess that's them too.
Yeah, anytime it's something mental that's going nowhere, it's them. Because it's like, why are we discussing? And then it's like, what is pretty privilege? And everybody's like, oh, there's variant degrees, and they're gonna make a scale and be like, this is the top pretty privilege, and this is how much you have, and this is what you should do with it. It's all teaching you to formulate your life based around the magic square and based around things that are physical. But in reality, even if you are very attractive, you're supposed to be using your spirit to push you through, not your physicality.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you can't, they can't use pretty privilege to explain why certain people are moving forward. And they're like, oh, because they are pretty. They're like a 7 on the scale. So like they also have pretty privilege, but they also have intellectual privilege. It's like you guys have no idea what you're talking about. That's the closing argument with the Uriel family. You guys loudly talk about stuff that you have no idea what you're talking about. You guys literally need to sit in school and take notes. Because in the future, I'm telling you, nobody's gonna listen to y'all. Once this information's out here, nobody's gonna want to hear it. Because you guys have led us to hell.
Let us astray.
And we were all trying to take notes. Like, what is, because you guys have so many thoughts. Well, okay, so what is it? They're like, well, you have, like, and Drake is right. The whole point is to talk about pretty privilege to let you know that you really don't have any. Because if you did, you wouldn't be on your phone watching this video.
Right.
I seen one girl say, pretty privilege is money. So how much money you get out of things is how much pretty privilege you have. I mean, these things could be true, but what's the point of this discussion?
Yeah.
I actually think
You're
that is
knowing.
correct. Like, it's all about, with Uriel, it's all about knowing your physical score and all these different things and like what that means. And that's why your life is the way it is. There's no spirituality involved. It's
Mm-hmm.
just a bunch of BS that gets people depressed and ruins everything it touches. Everything it touches, it ruins. That's what Uriel's famous for. They ruined heaven, now they ruin earth. And now, once again, they're all going to leave. They all left the Democratic Party and went to the Trump thing. And now it's Obama's Obama's virtue is trying to put it back together. So that's the worst part. Is like they leave it all after they destroy it, they run. And now we're all trying to like figure out, okay, how are we going to like
Fix it. Like,
fix
come
it?
on.
Like we got to call Obama so he can fix what we got going on.
Boma, please fix it.
Please, please. Okay, so we flamed Uriel.
Blamed.
Now it's Drika's family.
I'm like,
Gabriel.
what is she gonna say about us?
Yeah, what am I gonna say about Gabriel? Let me see. Oh, I have a good one that I don't think I even wrote. It's right here with Jesus. Number one, wanting to be white. Let me tell y'all
As soon as
something.
you narrowed
I
in
totally
on
forgot about
Jesus,
that.
I'm like, oh, I already know what she's gonna say.
I literally forgot. I didn't even write it down my list, but I'm like, how did I forget about Gabriel wanting to be white?
She came in for the kill with that one.
Ooh, wanting to be white, wanting straight hair, being obsessed with being white. I think every Gabriel that's not white thinks that they are white. Things would just be a little bit better. And I know this because the girl does my eyelashes. She's Eastern European, which I thought was white, but she told me growing up she wanted to be white. So I'm confused. So I'm looking at her like, you're pretty much white, but she kind of has that more like Kim Kardashian look.
Mm-hmm.
But in my head, that's like close enough to being white. But for a Gabriel, that's not being white. We say
Too ethnic.
too ethnic. Yeah, like Gabriel, when they say they want to be white, they're saying they want to be Dutson from Victoria's Secret. They're not talking. They're talking about they want to be Aryan
Invasive.
race. So I know when Hitler got into power and he said it should be Aryan race, I know Gabriel got right up like exactly. We just only want blonde hair and blue eyed people.
Ridiculous.
It is.
Simply
It is.
bad.
What you say? Because we know
Simply
Portia
bad
was
system.
involved in that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Portia supported Hitler because there's a white obsession with the women. And I know some of the men like being black. So that goes back to like Gabriel's really conscious of society's ideals. So they're probably the ones listening to Uriel talk about who got the pretty privilege. And now they got
Mm-hmm.
to figure out how to get the nose job so they can get it too. Uriel stressing Gabriel out online.
Literally, I'm stressed.
It's like, because it's like Uriel said, I don't have pretty privilege because I'm not a white woman, so I'll never have it. And now Gabriel's depressed after watching that Uriel video because they knew because they weren't white. They didn't have it anyways, but they just were hoping they could watch the video and get something out of it.
Get some sort of clarity.
Right. Get some sort of clarity. Okay. So, yeah, Gabriel's white obsessed when it comes to the woman because, like I said, Gabriel has a thing where they're very aware of society's ideals. You know what I'm saying? And like wanting to be perfect extends to that. So if the hottest guy is black, Gabriel man might want to be black or want to have this, but the we know in society the highest what's elevated as the best look for women is white. So I know a lot of Gabriel women, and it's okay. This is the flame session, you guys. You guys can be honest. I know y'all wanted to be blonde with blue eyes. I know y'all wanted to be Victoria's Secret model. I know you guys when you guys say you want to be white, you're not talking about you're talking about being Brooke Shields. You're talking about being the most like when I see Gabriel's,
Taylor.
we say Elizabeth Taylor. Yeah, like you see those Gabriel create those that old money. We say white diamonds. You know that one old money white girl that every Gabriel was posting with like the long blonde hair and like the
The
book
AI girl,
the
yeah.
AI blonde girl. That's what Gabriel wanted to look like. So Gabriel's actually promoting racism too in a way. So that's the first flame. They're promoting
Racism and body dysmorphia.
body dysmorphia. It's interesting because I feel like Michael has a little bit of it, but it's not in that kind of way. I don't think we get too deep into like wanting to physically look something different. It's more like, okay, I don't look, I don't feel pretty, but it's not like I know what pretty looks like. That's the difference in the Michael and the Gabriel version, I think, is like, I don't like, when I say I don't feel pretty, I don't feel like if I was white, I would feel pretty as well. It wouldn't change. Because even Audra Lima doesn't feel pretty. Versus Gabriel thinks, well, if I look like Brooke Shields, then I am pretty. Duh. You know what I mean? It's like Gabriel knows what they're supposed to look like. And so once again, this goes into Gabriel having all forms, the type of overly self-criticalness and getting depressed about things that are silly. Like a lot of Gabriels live really good lives in comparison to a lot of people, but in their mind, it's not good. Like they have a good job and have these things, but it could be missing a lot because they have these. They don't have the Porsche. They don't have diamonds. They're not blonde. You know, it's like they got the nose job, but it's still they don't know if they really have the look they want. It's like existential depression over stuff that like I seen in the video today. It was actually a good one to describe this. The guy said if being depressed isn't when like your life's going bad. Having anxiety isn't when you're actually you see that video where he's like having anxiety isn't because like you're like a lot of people think they have depression anxiety, but really they're actually making bad decisions. Versus Gabriel actually has depression because they're not making any bad decisions. Like when Drika told me, you mind me telling you how you mind me saying this?
What are you gonna say?
I'll cut it out if you don't want me to. I'll chop it out.
Yeah, go ahead.
When Drika told me she had anxiety, I couldn't believe it because like she's never done anything to create any anxiety. And so that actually is the definition of having anxiety. What the guy was saying is like, if I have anxiety, it's because I did something. Okay, like think about anybody who's like, there's so many things like that could create anxiety. You know what I'm saying? But Drika hasn't really done anything that would create anxiety. Gabriel isn't really doing anything. Their life isn't depressing, but in their mind it is because they have some ideal world that's not real in their head. Like the AI stuff, like all the stuff they're depressed over isn't really happening.
It is.
And
It's
then you
real to us.
and I know it's not real because even these very successful Gabriels, like that one model, Svetlana,
Mhm.
that was Gabriel committed suicide. So there's always a thing with Gabriel where they feel like they're missing something in life.
Yeah.
I noticed that. Like all my Gabriel friends, it's like I'm talking with my Gabriel friends today, and he was like, "My life is just, it's like it's just,
Shambles.
yes, it's shambles." And you hear what's going on, you're like, "Okay, well, I mean, you just have to go to the dentist, I guess." You know, it's like it's bad, but there's really nothing going on. But I guess because you guys have like a perfected life out there, you're
I
comparing it to something that you haven't even experienced. So number one, that's kind of bad because you're comparing your life to something that you don't even know if it's even good because you haven't experienced it. So then
Mhm.
there's two things that can happen. You can get depressed because your comparison is like something that might not ever exist, or you could even get those things that you want and you could be more depressed because now you have it. Like you have the modeling career, like her, what's her name? Svetlana?
Mhm.
Svetlana, the Russian model, right? She Russian? I'm pretty sure she's something like that.
I think so. Yeah.
That killed herself, where you actually get these things and now you're not happy. So now you're even more depressed because, like, damn, I got everything I want. And I had put it on such a pedestal that now I'm more devastated.
Mhm.
So it's like Gabriel lives in, as Uriel calls, La La Land.
Yeah. My mom always said.
Yeah, because it's like you're waiting for something to exist. You have an idea of how your life's supposed to go, and then it's hard to roll with the punches. Like I think I can get over certain things kind of quicker than like my Gabriel friends in terms of like obviously what I'm doing right now isn't what I was assuming I was going to be doing, but I think some of my Gabriel friends it's harder for them to like really enjoy what they're doing based around what they thought life was supposed to be about. And they that goes to the next thing where you guys can get really caught up in the tarot markers too of like, oh, I'm this age is supposed to be getting married and doing this, or I'm supposed to have these things at this time, which can create two things. Either it can create a depression because you don't have those things,
Mhm.
or it could do the thing of like making you go get married because you're at a certain age and you have this. So now, you know, you're successful. So now it's time to get married.
Yeah.
Right.
Depressing.
So what do you say?
Yeah, it's depressing.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, well, I'm supposed to be married. So either you're depressed because you're not married, or you're gonna go force the marriage. Like Will Smith, he's in a forced marriage because he's like, I have to be married.
Mhm.
So you guys kind of get under this tarot stuff too, like the societal ideals a lot, which even goes back to like the next thing, which is you guys like get deep under the tarot.
Mm.
I think everybody does, but like I've had more Gabriel friends date them seriously, and like a lot of Gabriels marry them and get their feelings hurt because it seems like they're the ideal. Like the tarot comes across like the perfect husband, the perfect wife. Oh,
Mhm.
another one is Gabriel's scared to be embarrassed a lot of times.
Yeah.
For what reason? I don't know because nothing you guys have done is embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. It's
It's funny because
corny.
what you say?
It's corny.
Okay, I could see that, but it's like Uriel embarrasses themselves every day, and they don't even see it like that. So it's like
They're crazy.
exactly.
We're like,
Um,
no, he's designated crazy person.
Another thing is you guys are very nitpicky. Like
Nitpick. Yeah.
nitpick everything, and then you guys
I'm
get
like, what? We are?
yeah
A little bit.
nitpicky. Also, too, like you guys could get into a random wave of depression out of nowhere and
Mm,
get in like a terrible funk and like just it's like a fog over you guys. Like
mm,
I've had like just these random fogs. And my niece is Gabriel, and she'll just get into a thing, and then they get very ungrateful in these modes.
yeah.
You guys suffer from not being grateful, like not seeing the bigger picture that you actually have a lot of stuff that you want. But because unless I wonder how those really, really rich Gabriels do. Like, 'cause I don't really have friends that are super rich Gabriels, but they probably suffer from some other idealism. Maybe
Mm.
it's their career, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. I don't really know what
Probably that they don't have a career.
what.
Probably that they don't have a career or something.
There you go.
Because they
Okay.
don't have their parents' money or somebody else's.
Yeah, they don't have their own stuff and they don't really know how they're adding to it.
Yeah.
Okay, and so the next thing I would say is this perfectionism leads to like I don't know what how I can like talk like what's the right way to say, but like there's kind of this I don't have a wall or like a lot of people right now with the Meghan Markle thing feel like she's unrelatable.
Mm,
Gabriel doesn't know how to relate to others very easily because either
mm,
they could be judgmental or they like it's so fantasy like they start playing like that in real life.
mhm,
Like how she was making the fruit bowls with the rainbow and like everybody's broke right now. Like it starts being like disconnected, detached from the world. They can be like disconnected from life in a way. Like the normal person, like there are a couple Gabriel girls I see on TikTok, and it's like there there's nothing you can really get in on unless you're Gabriel.
not of substance.
There you go. Gabriel doesn't have a lot of substance to add based around them being embarrassed to go get some substance in life. This
Oh boy.
would be the flaws, but not all Gabriels are embarrassed, and the ones that aren't embarrassed are doing better. But like whatever, like yeah, when you're in that embarrassing mode, it kind of prevents you from like enjoying life and being honest about what you really like. You're instead of showing what you like, you're doing like you're performing.
Mm.
Like, okay, I got the right hair, the right clothes, all the right stuff versus like,
Dressed for the performance.
oh, here's another one. Thinking something's the end of the world, it's not a big deal. Like when my nail artist got divorced, it
Mm.
was just like, so, I mean, I could just tell she felt like she was like the worst thing she had ever done.
Mm.
Obviously, it goes back to the idealism. Like divorce is would be a big bad thing for a Gabriel,
Mm.
but I just didn't see it. Maybe in her situation, like it was the best decision, and I know it was. But I'm just saying that like things are death, like life or death with Gabriel. Like it's a really big deal. You know what I'm saying? Not that
Mm.
divorce isn't a big deal, but I'm just saying that like I know this was like she's on the edge. Like I have to
Deal breaker.
yeah, these are like things that she doesn't know what the future like, just it's kind of being dramatic. Gabriels are very dramatic about stuff. Like they could break a nail and the whole day could be lost. And it's funny, like I'm playing around, but I know that's actually true.
Cracking
There's
up
a
because
dramaticness of
that
like,
was so me.
yeah, it is. That's funny
I
because like,
literally broke my nail. I think I told you about that. I was just like, it was before my birthday. I'm like,
yeah. So it's like when real stuff happens in life, like a divorce, like imagine how depressed a Gabriel gets because they didn't live up to these ideals.
I'm like, nobody's ever looking out for me because how could they let this happen? Where
Yeah.
are my angels?
Gabriels definitely could get judgmental with other people
Yeah.
because they're trying to figure out how nobody else is trying to do everything perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I don't have that much time to think about that type of
Why are
stuff.
you trying to be perfect?
It's like I can't even think about it. It's too stressful. So it's like, but once again, Gabriel can create a lot of stress, mental stress for themselves.
Mm. Naive.
Naive? I don't think Gabriel's too naive.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm. You guys are very wise.
That's funny. That's so funny to me. Um, Maybe I have a not so good word for it. I would probably say unaware, lacking
That's
awareness.
true. Lacking awareness, like how we talk about Meghan Markle and she was gonna go marry the prince and she doesn't even know anything about England. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
usually if you go and let's say I'm date a guy and I'm like, "Oh, you're from," he tells me he's from Wisconsin. I might be like, "Okay, like, let me see what's going on in Wisconsin," or just having no awareness of the world outside of the things that they're personally into.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they're not personally into it, they probably aren't going to be. Yeah, I think a lot of it's just like kind of like you guys live in your own world, whatever that is. So if you guys' world is something like politics, then you guys be more relatable because you have to be into other people's spaces. But if your world is just fashion, it's kind of like, okay, like this is a great ideal thing to watch. Like you said, there's a lack of substance
Mm-hmm.
that it's kind of like Greek always says Gabriel's boring. It's not just boring. It's like up obviously guys could be uptight, which is I think a good thing, but I think when you if you mix all those things together sometimes then it gets to be overwhelming. It's like she's in her own world, she's uptight, she's judgmental, she's not aware like you know what I mean? Then it starts being like people are saying Meghan Markle's not being authentic, which I don't think that's what that is. I don't think she's not being
Mm-hmm.
authentic. I think that they don't understand that she's literally in that state of mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is her being authentic.
Yeah.
It's just not coming across authentic to people because Gabriel is a perfectionist. So it just comes across like she's just playing a role, but it's like her whole life is playing a role. Like Gabriel will go take ballet classes knowing damn well they don't know anything about ballet. You know what I'm saying? Like, or
Yeah.
something like that. They can get into such ideals that their life becomes plain. So that is them being authentic. I don't think she's not being authentic, is what I'm saying, but that's how people are reading it because she's living in her idealisms so much
Mm-hmm.
that that's who she's become, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
I would say Gabriel could be too self-aware too.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
Gabriel gives me the energy of when they drink their drink, they know how to drink it so it looks good. Like Gabriel's making sure that they're doing it all the right way. Whereas sometimes, like that's once again with talking about, oh, she's not coming across authentic. Because if I come here and I'm thirsty, I'm just gonna grab it and drink it. Gabriel's like, let me get the right angle of the camera. Let me make sure I don't slurp it up on the camera. You know what I mean? Like where it's not that they're not being authentic. This is them preparing the scene properly. Not trying.
I seen a post that said something like it was like me when I go to I guess like any restaurant, but they specifically said the Cheesecake Factory, and I was cracking up. It was like me when I go to the Cheesecake Factory and I eat like a bit of my food there, and then I save the leftovers for later, and then I go and eat it.
Yes. Yes.
Like, why did you save it for later? Like, oh, kind of I guess like an idea of I
Yes.
can't eat all of it.
Yes, that's how I'm talking about. My niece will do that. She'll be like, doesn't want to look fat, so she won't eat all the food. But as soon as we get home, she'll bust it all down. But because she didn't eat it all at one point, she upheld the proper manners of not scarfing down her food. But
Right,
she
of
went,
like
but she
not
couldn't,
looking.
but she couldn't wait to get home and scarf it down. Another example is my niece. I had this strawberry shortcake that like I buy most people and they love it. And we had finished almost all the cake and had one slice left. Now looking back, I could tell she really wanted it, but she didn't want to eat all the cake more than everybody else. So the next day I ate it and she was so upset because she wanted that cake. She already had half the cake, but she didn't want to ask for that piece because she didn't want like she was being fat
Mm-hmm.
or she didn't want to come across the wrong way, but she wanted it. So I guess it's not necessarily like there is a level of not being authentic, but Gabriel's trying to follow all the proper rules. So I can't have 10 pieces of cake after this meal.
Even though I want to.
I do all the time. I just make I make a cake for myself all the time. I'll just do it. But Gabriel, that's not classy. That's not the right way.
Proper.
That's not proper. Yeah, Gabriel's getting some stuff. So it's like, yeah, it's craziness. Like my niece, like she said, Drinka does that. She'll get the leftovers, even though she wants to eat them all. She can't eat them all based around the time frame of the conversion. Right. And it's not gonna take away. So, yeah, like when you watch those Gabriel like TikToks, it's like they got their hair done, they got their teeth whitened, and now they're going to Ralph Lauren to buy a bag.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the day.
In that order.
In that order. And I think some people are like, okay, this isn't authentic, but it is. It's just that, like, I guess Gabriel has to get their head out of the clouds
Mm.
and get more like grounded.
Waking up.
Yeah, waking up that like they have a really good life. They're pretty. They look good. They can eat the whole cake if they want. Nobody's gonna judge them, and it's okay. I eat the whole cake all the time.
You eat the whole cake all the time.
Yeah, I do. I have a
Oh
cake
my
upstairs right
gosh.
now. I went and had one slice, walked back up and had another slice because I wanted it.
Mm-mm.
You can't eat the whole cake, Drake.
Oh, I don't like cake.
Oh, okay, okay. The cheesecake. You can't eat it all in one scarfing. You can't have second and thirds.
Yeah, I just be feeling so bad after eating all that cake like that. Ugh.
Do you feel like is that the body dysmorphia?
No, I mean, like, physically, I feel bad. Like, it's too much.
Like, what is it too much about?
But the cheesecake,
Yeah.
like, I feel like I'm gonna
Throw
be
up?
sick. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
you
too
actually feel
much.
physically sick. Okay, okay, okay. I
Mhm.
see that. Okay. The next one, obviously I brought the suicide. And well, because the problem with the suicide is not because something's going bad. It's like we don't understand why Gabriel did it. So that Lana was one of the most beautiful models of all time. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Obviously everybody gets flamed for suicide, but Gabriel the most because it's like you can't really like people be like those people that be like we had no idea they were going to kill themselves.
Mhm.
They wasn't on drugs or something that like really okay. People doing cocaine. Obviously, some people don't know those people are suicidal, but it's a more of a clear thing.
Mhm.
Okay, daydreaming too much.
Maladaptive daydreaming, my favorite.
And then the other thing is thinking you have it all figured out too. But it's like, yeah, I think a lot of my Gabriel friends that goes back to this ideal world they have. They think they know it all in a way,
Mhm.
and none of this, nobody knows it all. So you're always gonna get humbled by that. But like Gabriel thinks they figured out society, now they're gonna go forth and do it perfectly, and then all that's gonna crash down. So now they got to go get suicidal.
Suicide.
Suicidal.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true.
I was gonna say another big one is making romance or your wedding the most important thing of your life.
Mm.
Like fictional boyfriends that don't exist, fictional wives that don't exist for the men.
Listening to those romance books. I saw a girl that was like, I'm listening to my romance books at work. So deep into it, and it's like, yeah, doesn't really exist.
Yeah, it goes back to the maladaptive daydreaming or like just like you're like this person. I think it's like the savior complex sometimes too, because a lot of the romantic people that you guys seem interested in would be somebody to take you out of your situation that you currently live in, or somebody to make you happy, or somebody that would
Yeah,
change your life to get you the things you want. It's
it's
not like real something.
not real love. It's like a
One second.
concept.
Yeah, it's love because like what what Gabriel thinks a husband is somebody with a lot of money and finances that's gonna be perfect and give them everything they want. And the way I think a wife is somebody that's gonna just like take care of the kids and be beautiful and be elegant and just like make their life look ideal. And so
Mhm.
these things aren't rooted in like a connection with somebody. And when you have a connection with somebody, you don't know how it's gonna look. It might not look like this, Disney princess, perfect, perfect, perfect. That's the other thing. The perfect. I like things being perfect too. Like I said, I think Michael, we don't. like I said, we don't feel beautiful, but we don't know what beautiful is. I think Gabriel, like I said, like they know what all these things are supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to figure out who told them that. Did you guys get that from the tarot? Did you guys make it up yourself? Like who told y'all what it was that it's supposed to what the things were?
Good idea. Hmm. Who told us that?
Yeah, who told y'all that?
Society.
What you say?
Society.
Okay, so you guys listen to society a lot, which would be the tarot. So you guys actually believed in the tarot stuff, which has made like Gabriel really good candidates for like, like Barack Obama or these people that like can take charge of the world because they have the things. But just because you have the things don't mean you actually have the things, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect myself to have that many good roasts of Gabriel, but I actually did with the white thing. I think people like roast Gabriel more than it's worth though sometimes. Like even like Taylor Swift, I feel like once again people say the same thing like, "Oh, she's just like they're trying to keep up this good image." And I think that's the roast that's not true about Gabriel. Like Gabriel's like trying to be good. I think Gabriel are good. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's more so that Gabriel has that lack of awareness, and I think that there is like even that, like I think you guys don't even realize that you guys are good. Like you guys don't. I don't believe in that roast. Everybody gives Gabriel like, oh, she thinks she's so good. I think Gabriel's are really good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really feel like that's the roast that people think they have.
Yeah.
Like people think they roast Gabriel by saying, "Oh, you're so good. You think you're so good." It's like they are good, but it's like the heady stuff that Gabriel. One second. Sorry, guys. It's the heady stuff to me that I think makes it kind of like I said, I had to grow into having Gabriel friends because like Gabriel, and I think it's good that you guys aren't involved in the. I don't. Maybe that's what the depression is. You guys don't really aren't involved in anything.
Mm.
Like, what was the extracurricular activities I could have met Gabriel at?
Ballet.
Right.
Cooking.
Yeah, because it's like I played sports, I did dance. The Gabriel girls I knew were just like going shopping and they're really quiet and they're kind of more to themselves. But it's kind of like I don't really know. I don't think you guys necessarily need to be more outgoing, but maybe it's not outgoing. Maybe it's get over the embarrassment stuff and just kind
Mm.
of. I mean, if you guys do want to put yourself out there, I would. I don't know if Gabriel wants to go somewhere and they don't, or I don't know what's going on, but I know it's kind of like hard to find Gabriel.
Mm.
Like, where's Gabriel at?
I did go to the skating ring.
Yeah. And I think Gabriel does get into that image stuff of like I'm reading this philosopher, so now I'm intelligent. They get into the tarot stuff too much sometimes for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like my friend, he went to two tarot doctors and they both messed up his like tooth, and it's like, why would you do that? I told you those were demons. Why would you do all this? But it's like Gabriel liked the image of it all. Or like I see a Gabriel on my timeline. Sometimes they're doing that thing of making themselves look intelligent versus just like being yourself, and you are intelligent. So you don't gotta like show yourself at the library. You know what I mean? You don't gotta go
Photo op
do
at the library.
yeah. You don't have to go do the intelligent thing or do the thing. You just are it. But the good news is Gabriel grows out a lot of those things. Sometimes, for the most part.
I'm like, if we don't do the photo op at the library, does anyone even know that we're smart?
Right. 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 Right.
We have to.
Right.
I had to let everybody know that I read.
It is funny that Gabriel has the white complex. That's so crazy.
That one is crazy. I
It
because
is.
I had seen a video that was going around TikTok where they were asking like those little um like questionnaires they asked random people out in the public, and they was like, oh, like if you were any other race, what would you want to be? Like, whatever they was. A lot of the people were black, And so they're asking him like, "Oh, what other place you want to be or whatever?" And I was thinking like, what other race would I want to be?
Mm.
Wasn't my current race, and I didn't really know.
Right. That's good. So
Probably.
maybe Gabriel. Oh yeah, there goes Gabriel not being authentic when they know exactly what race they want to be. They want to see what it's about because they've hyped up being white too, like the clueless stuff. Like
Oh yeah, I
you
love
guys have
Clueless.
definitely hyped up being rich, not only white but also I think you guys associate being white with being rich too.
Privilege.
Being yes, that's what it is. Gabriel wants to be up like the most privileged
Mm-hmm.
and have it the most easy when they already do have those things. Usually, Gabriels I know growing up, all my Gabriel friends had like a little bit more stable life than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So, surprise, surprise, you guys do have it the most privileged and the most easy. Mm.
I'm sitting here like, that's so funny because I literally be like, I could have so much more. Even growing up, I'm like, man, those other Gabriel girls, that's what I wanted to be like.
The ones that are really, really, really crazy rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that though, because the really rich Gabriel girls, they really have it all. But I guess that'd be a good question if we do meet like a really, really rich Gabriel girl, ask her how she feels about life because maybe she feels like she can't relate to other people. Because like I think that when Gabriel does have that, it makes them even more unrelatable.
Mm-hmm.
So at least you growing up in the hood can give you a little bit more like of the awareness that I
Mm-hmm.
think that Gabriel that's really rich kind of could lose out on. So like at least you have some relatableness and like awareness that like the Gabriels that don't grow up around anything, they get even more detached and even more heady.
Yeah.
It gets so far away from everybody else. Where it's like they're not enjoying the rich things. It's like they just that's normal life to them, so they don't really even know any other life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just every day.
So then they don't really know, like it gets even more unawareness. So I guess it's like you got more substance because of regular life. Because I guess
Mhm.
substance is hard for Gabriel to get.
Right. And I still don't like it.
But his substance, yeah, Gabriel doesn't even like having. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe we got to roast Gabriel for not wanting substance. But I think Gabriels do like substance.
Yeah, we like being at the library, but we do like that photo.
Yeah, that photo op at the library. Like
Gotta
I was,
get both
I
in.
wasn't interested in being sexy. I was interested in being educated and intelligent. Sips tea with one finger. Do with thou
Pinky
will.
up.
I read this Chekhov today, and I realized that my life too was a cherry orchard. Yeah, Gabriel lets us know what they know, and I guess Gabriel maybe feels insecure about not being interesting, so maybe that's what that is or something.
I would say so
They
for
trying to
sure.
create more interesting, but they're doing it in tarot ways. So they get under the tarot a lot. I think that's the biggest thing. Gabriel
Mm,
gets under the tarot.
yeah.
We know. Oh, and that's the last one. I think sometimes too, Gabriel can get kind of greedy or selfish with their money.
Greedy.
Some
That's
of them, not all of them, but I have heard like some stories of like Gabriel's wanting big tax cuts or things like this, where it's like they don't really want to. I don't know. They want to stay at when they get their money. They kind of do like the idea of like being billionaires. Like I don't think Gabriel's like some people like billionaires shouldn't exist. I don't think Gabriel's give a fuck about that. Gabriel's like billionaires have to exist. Okay, and I think
yeah.
they do. They should exist. But I'm just saying that I think Gabriel, like I said, if they haven't had certain experiences, I could see how certain things could like go awry.
Mm-hmm.
Where like Gabriel will just spend some crazy money on something, or just I could just see how like it could go awry.
Yeah. Agreed.
But I think for the most part, I don't really feel like there's really anything else. So if you're Gabriel and you don't want to be white and you're aware, you beat the test.
Beat a lot of them.
Be a lot of it. You're not suicidal. You beat the test. I don't think there's anything else I can really say negatively about Gabriel. I wonder if how white Gabriels live. They might not have any insecurities. They already got what they wanted.
yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, they don't have much to worry about. That's how it looks sometimes too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, maybe they've taken things too serious, getting depressed too easily. getting overwhelmed too fast.
Yeah, getting too serious. I would say so.
Yeah, like we get serious in one way, but you guys get serious in another way, like about like something else. It's a different kind of seriousness. It's a melancholy seriousness.
Mm-hmm.
My husband's not coming. I failed. My wife isn't here. I don't have my career. I'm not contributing. Why can't we all just get along when like it's with demons and stuff? One is all to get along with demons instead of having solutions for the problem sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But usually that's not what's going on. So I don't want to keep roasting Gabriel. There's really nothing more there. I love the Gabriel family. I'm not gonna roast you to roast you. There's nothing really else there. If I think about something, I'll bring it up. But I originally didn't have any much to say until I saw that picture of Jesus. Like, yeah, Jesus just made his whole image white, so we have to roast Jesus himself. He didn't think it was a big deal. He thought it was all love, baby. But yeah, that's the roast of the angels. We love you guys. Thank you for watching. And the Angels in the Library. I'm your host, and we love you guys. Let us know what you think is the dark sides of the angelic families.
Yeah, I
I
would
try
love.
to be fair. Love ya. Good night. Okay.